Alright, what is going on, guys? Another breakdown for UFC Vegas 68 main event at heavyweight. We got Derrick Lewis taking on Serghei Spivac. They are the same height. Lewis going to have a 1 inch reach advantage. Lewis also about 10 years older, 37, soon to be 38. But yeah, this fight was supposed to go down a few weeks ago, maybe it was a couple months ago, and Lewis had to pull out with a stomach issue, I believe it was, the day of. So yeah, I feel like all that stuff is going to factor heavy in my prediction at least. But anyway, for Sergey Spivak, quite hittable on the feet, honestly. He has decent speed for heavyweight, but primarily looks to just get the fight to the ground, and he's very good on the ground. Conserves his energy well, has good ground and pound, and he's been getting a lot more finishes of late, really kind of coming into his own. In his last 5 bouts, has a ground and pound knockout of Jared Vanderaa where he dominated him in the first round and finished it in the second. Against Alexei Oleinik, it was a tough test, man. A lot of people were looking for him to get the finish. I think he didn't get enough credit for that one because Oleinik is just always scary on the ground. He did have some moments in that one, but he handled it pretty well and won by unanimous decision. Knocked out by Tom Aspinall. Bad matchup for him, just like I said, hittable somewhat on the feet, and just did not have any way to keep with Aspinall on the feet. He was just able to land whatever he wanted, and Spivak was just reacting to him, gets the knockout in the first round. But then he detonates Greg Hardy and gets a great ground and pound knockout in round 2 against Augusto Sakai. But yeah, that's what this fight is pretty much going to come down to. It's like, can Spivak get the fight to the ground and wear on Lewis, and does Lewis still have the whole death touch power? But yeah, for Spivak, he's definitely coming into his own. Excuse me. But yeah, I just don't know like what his ceiling is. I kind of thought it was like around here, but at heavyweight, anything could happen. I think this is going to be his toughest test, other than Aspinall. But I like what I've been seeing. And then for Derrick Lewis, the big factor here is that he's lost all this weight recently, and that could be good or bad because we all know the story with Derrick Lewis. He's either going to get the one-punch knockout or he's not going to. He's got a little bit more well-rounded game than that. I'm selling it short. He's good at getting up if he gets taken down, and he has good weapons in close to defend takedowns, good uppercuts, and, that was evident in the Blagoy-Ivanov fight and the Ilir Latifi fight, which people thought was a little bit controversial, but yeah, he hasn't let himself be dominated by these wrestlers. Against Curtis Blades, just put him out cold. And Chris Daukaus was the other knockout he's had in recent times. As we know, Chris Daukaus can't really take a punch at heavyweight. But yeah, the losses are all to the top dogs, but he does seem to be slowing down a little bit. Heavyweights seem to be going after him a little bit more. But again, these are the top dogs. And then Tai Tuivasa, if you want to call him a top dog. Fan favorite, but I don't know if he's like as talented as like a Sergey Pavlovich or a Cyril Gane. But he was able to get that done in Houston. Derrick Lewis allergic to winning in his home turf. But yeah, as we've seen before, against Alexander Volkov, just kind of gets dominated, and then he just finds that power shot in the third round. It's all going to come down to, for me at least, what was the nature of the weight loss? Was it because he's like dealing with an illness or like an injury, or was it because he just felt like he has to start taking his dieting seriously after the first Spivak fight fell through? But it's tough because we don't know if all this weight loss is going to negatively affect his power, if he's just going to be a different fighter. Maybe it helps him long term, it helps him preserve his career for a few more years, but this matchup, it might be tough. So for Derrick Lewis, plus 195 underdog, and they're kind of just daring you to bet on Derrick Lewis, but this is going to be a no-bet situation for me. I don't love Sergey Spivak at minus 230, but I do have to go with him because of the weight loss for Derrick Lewis. I just don't think he's going to be really used to fighting at this weight or this body type. It's just hard to pick him when he's known for the death touch, and it's a great price for Derrick Lewis, but with that factored in, it's tough for me to make that call. Again, they're kind of daring you to do it, so you do have to factor that in. But yeah, I don't love Sergey Spivak at minus 230. I do kind of like the over 1.5 there at plus 100. That's kind of interesting to me because Sergey doesn't usually get the finish in the first round. He kind of builds to it, And I don't think Derrick Lewis is getting put out in the first round. So unless you think Derrick Lewis is just going to get the one-punch knockout on Serghei, he's not going to be able to stand up the first time he gets hit. I like the over 1.5, and that's what I might end up betting. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe, and take it easy.